All right, this is my childhood Quran, and I'm just going to start reading it. I'm a little bit sick, so. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alif Lam Ra. These are the verses of the perspicuous book. Now, let's see. That means the predominant meaning of just, it makes things clear. So these are the verses of the perspicuous book. We have sent it down as an Arabic Quran, in order that ye may learn wisdom. We do relate unto thee the most beautiful of stories, in that we reveal to thee this portion of the Quran. Before this, thou too was among those who knew it not. Behold, Joseph said to his father, O my father, I did see 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrate themselves to me. Said the father, My dear little son, relate not thy vision to thy brothers, lest they concoct a plot against thee. For Satan is to man an avowed enemy. So he said the father, My dear little son, relate not thy vision to thy brothers, lest they concoct a plot against thee. For Satan is to man an avowed enemy. And thus will thy Lord choose thee and teach thee the interpretation of stories and events, and perfect his favor to thee, and to the prosperity of Jacob, even as he perfected it to thy fathers Abraham and Isaac aforetime. For thy Lord is full of wisdom, is full of knowledge and wisdom. To thee, all right, this is the last one. To thee and to the posterity of Jacob, even as he perfected it to thy fathers Abraham and Isaac Abraham and Isaac aforetime. For thy Lord is full of knowledge and wisdom. Okay. Section 2, Ayat 7. Verily in Yusuf and his brethren are signs for seekers after truth. They said, Truly Joseph and his brother are loved more by our father than we. But we are a goodly body. Really our father is obviously in error. Slay ye Yusuf, or cast him out to some unknown land, so the favor of your father may be given to you alone. His brothers don't like him, and they're telling their father, we don't like them. Slay ye Joseph, or cast him out to some unknown land, that so the favor of your father may be given to you alone. There will be time enough for you to be righteous after that, said one of them. Slay not Yusuf, but if you must do something, throw him down to the bottom of the well. He will be picked up by some caravan of travelers. They said, O our father, why dost thou not trust us with Joseph, seeing we are indeed his sincere well-wishers? Send him to us tomorrow to enjoy himself and play, and we shall take every care of him. Jacob said, which I think is Jacob, he said, Really it saddens me that ye should take him away. I fear lest the wolf should devour him while ye attend not to him. So Jacob said, I don't trust you 10 boys with Yusuf because I just don't trust you with him. They said, if the wolf were to devour him while we are so large a party, then should we be the losers. And they did take him away, and they all agreed to throw him down to the bottom of the well. And we put into his heart this message: Of a surety thou shalt one day tell them the truth of their affair. Of a surety, thou shalt one day tell them the truth of this their affair, while they perceived not. Then they came to their father in the early part of the night, weeping. They said, "O our father, we went racing with one another and left Joseph with our things, and the wolf devoured him. But thou wilt never believe us, even though we tell the truth." They stained his shirt with false blood. He said, "Nay, but your minds have made up a tale that may pass with you. For me, patience is most fitting. Against that which ye assert, it is Allah alone, whose help can be sought." Then there came a caravan of travelers. They sent their water carrier for water, and he let down his bucket into the well. He said, Ah, there, good news. Here is a fine young man. So they concealed him as a treasure. But Allah knoweth well all that they do. The brethren sold him for a miserable price, for a few dirhams, counted out, in such low estimation that they hold them. So his brothers threw him down a well, and then they put blood on their shirt to make it look like he was killed by a wolf. And then this caravan of travelers picks him up from out of the well, and then his brothers sell him for very little. All right, section 3, which 21, I just kind of opened it, and it was a different Quran. It was like a young adult's Quran, but this one is more accurate. But I just flipped it open, and boom, and I landed on this one, which, alhamdulillah. The man in Egypt who bought him said to his wife, "Make his stay among us honorable. Maybe he will bring us much good, or we shall adopt him as a son." Thus did we establish Yusuf in the land, and that we might teach him the interpretation of stories and events. And Allah hath full power and control over his affairs, but most among mankind know it not. When Yusuf attained his full manhood, we gave him power and knowledge. Thus do we reward those who do right. But she in whose house he was sought to seduce him, and she fastened the doors and said, "Now come." He said, "Allah forbid. Truly thy husband is my Lord. He made my sojourn agreeable. Truly to no good come of those who do wrong. Truly to no good come of those who do wrong. Truly to no good come there who do wrong." And with passion did she desire him, and he would have desired her, but that he saw the evidence of his Lord. Thus did we order that we might turn away from him all evil and indecent deeds, for he was one of our servants chosen. So they hath raced each other to the door, and she tore his shirt from the back. They both found her Lord near the door. She said, "What is the fitting punishment for one who formed an evil design against thy wife, but prison or a grievous chastisement?" He said, "It was she that sought to seduce me from my true self, and one of her household saw this and bore witness. Thus, if it be that his shirt is rent from the front, rent is kind of like ripped or tore, is rent from the front, then is her tale true, and he is a liar. But if it be that his shirt is torn from the back, then is she the liar, and he is telling the truth." So when he saw his shirt, that it was torn at the back, her husband said, "Behold, it is a snare of you women. Truly, mighty is your snare. O Joseph, pass this over. O wife, ask forgiveness for thy sin, for truly thou hast been at fault. Ladies said in the city, the wife of the great Aziz is seeking to seduce her slave. Truly hath he inspired her with violent love. We see she is evidently going astray. When she heard of their malicious talk, she sent for them and prepared a banquet for them. She gave each of them a knife, and she said to Yusuf, come out before them. And when they saw him, they did extol him, and in their amazement cut their hands. I think extol is, they were like, whoa, you're handsome. They did extol him, and in their amazement cut their hands. They said, Allah preserve us. No mortal is this. This is none other than a noble angel. She said, there before you is the man about whom ye did blame me. I did seek to seduce him from his true self, but he did firmly save himself guiltless. And now, if he doth not my bidding, he certainly shall be cast into prison, and what is more, be of the company of the vilest. He said, O my lord, the prison is dearer to my liking than that to which they invite me. Unless thou turn away their snare from me, I should feel inclined towards them and join. I should feel inclined towards them and join the ranks of the ignorant. So his heart hearkened to him in his prayer, and turned away from their snare. Verily he heareth and knoweth all things. Then it occurred to them, after they had seen the signs, that it was best to imprison him for a time. Section 5. Now with him there came into the prison 2 young men. Said one of them, I see myself in a dream pressing wine. Said the other, I see myself in a dream carrying bread on my head, and birds are eating thereof. Tell us, they said, the truth and meaning thereof. See thou art one that doth good to all. See thou art one that doth good to all. He said, before any food comes, in due course, to feed either of you, I will surely reveal to you the truth. Okay. Before any food comes, in due course, to feed either of you, I will surely reveal to you the truth and meaning of this ere it befall you. That is part of the duty which my Lord hath taught me. I have, I assure you, abandoned the ways of a people that believe not in Allah, and that even deny the hereafter. And I follow the ways of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And never could we attribute any partners whatever to Allah. That comes of the grace of Allah to us and to mankind, yet most men are not grateful. O my 2 companions of the prison, I ask you, are many lords differing among themselves better, or Allah the one, supreme and irresistible? Whatever ye worship apart from him is nothing but names which ye have named. Oh man. Ye and your fathers, for which Allah hath sent down no authority. The command is for none but Allah. He hath commanded that you worship none but him. That is the right religion, but most men understand not. O my 2 companions of the prison, as to one of you, he will pour out the wine for his Lord to drink. As for the other, he will hang from the cross, and the birds will eat from off his head. As for the other, he will hang from the cross, and the birds will eat from off his head. So hath been the creed, that matter whereof ye twain do inquire. Okay. 1696. Here is their kind of like explanation of it. For the baker, alas, he had bad news, but tells it directly without tantalizing him. Perhaps he had been found guilty. Perhaps he had been really guilty of some act of embezzlement, or of joining in some palace intrigue. And he was the first to die, a malefactor's death on the cross, followed by exposure to birds of the air vultures pecking away at his eyes and cheeks, and all that had been his face and head. Poor man. If he was guilty, Joseph had taught him repentance, and that we should like to think that he lost in this life, but gained in the next. If he was innocent, the cruel death did not affect him. Yusuf had showed him a higher and more lasting hope in the hereafter. So, we will hang from the cross, and the birds will eat from off his head. So hath been decreed, that matter whereof ye twain do inquire. And of the two, to that one whom he considered about to be saved, he said, mention me to thy Lord. But Satan made him forget. Satan made him forget to mention to his Lord. And Joseph lingered in prison for a few more years. The king of Egypt said, I do not see in a vision 7 fat kine, whom 7 lean ones devour, and 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others. So, 1700. It says, the Pharaoh was holding a council. His confidential advisor, the cupbearer, is present. The Pharaoh relates his double dream of 7 fat kine being discovered by 7 lean ones, and of 7 fine full green ears of corn by 7 dry withered ears. So the king of Egypt said, I do see in a vision 7 fat kine, whom 7 lean ones devour, and 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others. Withered, O ye chiefs. Expound to me my vision, if it be that you can interpret visions. They said, a confused medley of dreams, and we are not skilled in the interpretation of dreams. But the man who had been released, one of the 2 who had been in prison, and who now remembered him after so long a space of time, said, I will tell you the truth of its interpretation. Send to me, therefore. O Yusuf, he said, O man of truth, expound to us the dream of 7 fat kine, whom 7 lean ones devour, and of 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others withered, and that I may return to thy people, and that they may know. Okay, so Yusuf was in prison with 2 other guys, one of which had bread on top of his head in a dream, which meant that he was going to die on a cross with birds pecking at his head and pecking out his eyes and stuff. But the other guy, he was in front of, I guess, the king, which was probably the Pharaoh at the time. And the king was asking his advisors, how do I interpret this dream I had of like 7 kine, which I'm not sure, but if there's 7 lean ones after, it might be heavy. Don't listen to me. But so now now Yusuf is about to see the king of Egypt, or the Pharaoh. Yusuf said, for 7 years shall ye diligently sow, as is your wont, and the harvest that ye reap, and the harvest that ye reap, ye shall leave them in the ear, except a little, of which ye shall eat. Then will come after that period 7 dreadful years, which will devour what ye. Then will come after that period 7 dreadful years, which will devour what ye shall have laid by in advance for them, all except a little, which ye shall have specially guarded. Then will come after that a year in which the people will have abundant water, and which they will press wine and oil. And the king said, Bring ye him unto me. But when the messenger came to him, Yusuf said, Go thou back to thy lord, and ask him, what was the matter with the ladies who cut their hands? For my lord is certainly well aware of their snare. The king said to the ladies, What was your affair? When ye did seek to seduce? What was your affair when ye did seek to seduce Joseph? The ladies said, Allah preserve us. No evil know we against him, said the Aziz's wife. Now is the truth manifest to all. It was I who sought to seduce him. He is indeed of those who are ever true and virtuous. This, say I, in order that he may know that I have never been false to him in his absence, and that Allah will never guide the snare of the false ones. Yet I do not absolve myself of blame. The human soul certainly incites evil, unless my Lord do bestow his mercy. But surely my Lord is oft forgiving, most merciful. So the king said, Bring him unto me. I will take him specially to serve about my own person. Therefore he had spoken to him. He said, Be assured this day, thou art of high standing with us, invested with all trust. Let me read that again. Therefore, when he had spoken to him, he said, Be assured this day, thou art of high standing with us, invested with all trust. Yusuf said, Set me over the storehouses of the land. I am a good keeper, knowledgeable. Thus did we give established power to Yusuf in the land, to take possession therein as, when, or where he pleased. We bestow of our mercy on whom we please, and we suffer not to be lost. And we suffer not to be lost the reward of those who do good. But verily the reward of the hereafter is the best, and those who believe and are constant in righteousness. Then came Yusuf's brethren. They entered his presence, and he knew them, but they knew him not. And when he had furnished them forth with provisions, and when he had furnished them forth with provisions suitable for them, he said, Bring unto me a brother. Wow. Okay, so the brothers who threw him in the well, he's gave him stuff. And then he said, Bring unto me a brother ye have, of the same father as yourselves, but a different mother. Seek ye not that I pay out full measure, and that I do provide the best hospitality. So this is explaining. Joseph treated his brothers liberally. Perhaps he condescended to enter in a conversation with these strangers, and inquired about their family. The 10 brothers had come. Had they left a father behind them? What sort of a person was he? Very aged? Well, of course he would not come. Okay. See ye not that I pay out full measure, and that I do provide the best hospitality? Now, if you bring him not to me, ye shall have no measure of corn for me. Now, if ye bring him not to me, ye shall have no measure of corn from me, nor shall ye even come near me. And they said, We shall try to win him from his father. Indeed, we shall do it. And Yusuf told his servants, to which they put their stock in trade. Okay, money used for capital as trade. And they said, We shall try to win him from his father. Indeed, we shall do it. We shall do it. And Yusuf told his servants to put their stock in trade, with which they had bartered, into their saddlebags, so they should know it only when they returned to their people, in order that they might come back. Now when they returned to their father, they said, O our father, no more measure of grain shall we get unless we take our brother. We send our brother with us, that we may get our measure, and we will indeed take every care of him. It says, on the return, this is the interpretation. On the return, they no doubt told Jacob all that had transpired. But to beg Benjamin of him was no easy matter, as Jacob did not trust them, and had no cause to trust them after their treatment of Yusuf. So they used the argument of urgent necessity for all it is worth. It sounds like the first time. So this must be Jacob, his father. He said, Shall I trust you with him with any result other than when I trusted you with his brother aforetime? But Allah is the best to take care of him, and he is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Then when they opened their baggage, they found their stock in trade had been returned to them. They said, O our father, what more can we desire? Our stock in trade has been returned to us, so we shall get more food for our family. We shall take care of our brother, and add at the same time a full camel's load of grain to our provisions. But this is but a small quantity. Jacob said, Never will I send him with you until ye swear a random oath to me in Allah's name that you will be sure to bring him back to me unless ye are yourselves hemmed in and made powerless. And when they had sworn their solemn oath, he said, Over all that we say, be Allah the witness and guardian. Further he said, O my sons, enter not all by one gate, enter ye by different gates. Not that I can... This is Jacob still saying this. Further he said, O my sons, enter not all by one gate, enter ye by different gates. Not that I could profit you aught against Allah, none can command except Allah. On him do I put my trust. On him do I put my trust. And let all that trust put their trust on him. And when they entered in the manner their father had enjoined, it did not profit them in the least against the plan of Allah. It served only to satisfy Jacob's heartfelt desire. For he was, by our instruction, full of knowledge and experience, but most men know not. Okay, 30 minutes. I am at section 9. I'm a good portion through it. I'll get back to it. No, that's it. I'm not going to add stuff to it. I know a lot of my American friends might not be into it. Okay, I'm not doing, I'm doing this because I wanted to do this. I'm doing this because I wanted to do this. I actually had thought about it even a few weeks ago. And I told my stepdad this, who's been pushing me to do something like that. So there we go. I'm here. And it was crazy. Not crazy. It was just, I opened it up. Boom. Yusuf 21. So it was kind of like a sign. I gotta do it. So that's about it. everything's finished. Inshallah. I'll be back next Friday, maybe the Friday after that. I'm not sure, but you guys go for all my Muslim homies. Assalamu alaikum.